God damn it, I don't even want to do a shitty intro for this one. I just want to get this over with. Listen, this guide will be hyper condensed. Because fuck this dungeon. If you really want to be a Maple Elite, then you can watch a 20-minute video without vocal commentary, or you can take a look at how long this one is and weigh your options. So, here we go, a quick guide to Terminus of Time. Big difference from the other two High Lapenta dungeons is that Terminus has a 12-minute timer that begins immediately upon entering. So a general rule of thumb is that you want to get to Ishura at the penultimate platform by the 8-minute mark. So, at the start, this will always be the same. The Knights from Frostpillar Temple will be the first platform you encounter. If you remember my last guide, then you'd know to go for the Knights in the back that emit that damage debuff. It seems the best way to get them to stop would be going behind and attacking them, which usually forces them to stop to focus on you. Then again, Nexon, so it may not work every time. But there's a bigger handicap that you have to keep in mind for the entire raid. Check your debuff corner or the top of your character's head to see what debuff you have, either the Sunlight or Moonlight debuff. Allow me to elaborate.
This is daytime. And this is nighttime.
If you have the corresponding debuff, you will suffer a significant decrease in accuracy and take damage over time. And the only way to alleviate this is by using these lapin shards on the ground to create a safe zone. So you're basically playing Snowflake Simulator. You can only attack in this area if the debuff is active, so place it down wisely and with consideration for your teammates that may also have the same debuff. Players with the opposite debuff are unaffected during the opposite time of day, so they are advised to attack away from their handicapped teammates so they don't become fish in a barrel. Of course, as you may have already guessed, Ishura will occasionally change the time of day, so the rules switch. Stay alert. An interesting thing to note is that while death may have a heavy cost in terms of time, it does have the benefit of removing your current debuff until Ishura sends it out again to the entire group, meaning that you are free to move around and DPS as you please. Or you could still be a monkey berserker / roomblade and hold one button to give us a bad rep. Fuck all of you. As you go through the platforms, Ishura will obviously try to attack you in the meantime. These moves include a pin missile that deals a lot of damage, a bubble that detonates after a short while and also hurts a lot, and a platform-wide wave that can only be dodged by going on the bottom ledge of a platform. Just keep an eye on Ishura, okay? I will not go over all the platforms because the same general rule of all Awakening dungeons and Chaos raids applies heavily to Terminus of Time. Just focus the fucking ads. If there are elites, take care of them. If there are mini ads that give elites a buff, take care of them first. It's literally like Majak Inspire where you have to take out the Montauk before the cavalry. Just remember that. A large exception arrives in the form of these dragons. It is now common culture that upon encountering this platform, everyone just resets the dungeon. Unless you have someone with Ascendant gear that says it's easy and wants to actually do it. Then just go for the smaller dragons first, then the larger ones. Good luck in not losing a life or two here. It's really sad too, because if you have to reset a whole dungeon due to a platform being so undesirable to an entire player base, that says something about that platform. Nexon, fix this shit please. Another platform I will explain is the very middle, where Ishura summons two of his shadows, with one being a direct copy of Ishura and the other one wielding a fucking death drill. Whoever aggroes the drill type shadow typically lures it away from the rest of the group, attacking the other shadow, and continuously drops off the platform as the rest of the team deals with both shadows. This means that you should deal with the clones as quickly as possible so your bait doesn't die in the process. The last one I could explain involves the drakes. Take out the mini ads at the start and make sure someone stays there to throw pots at the two drakes to remove their shield and stun them while the rest of the team eliminates them. Ever do labyrinth halls? This is it, chief. Besides these platforms, same rule applies. Deal with ads, that's literally it. At the penultimate platform, you are now able to attack Ishura more freely than getting cheap shots on prior platforms. The goal is to get him to 75% as quickly as possible while not dying, so that he teleports to the final stage and you can begin the actual boss battle. As soon as the first person arrives to the area, Ishura will begin his skill break, which requires a Space Rift Lapin Shard, so as long as you have that, attack is normal. If this somehow fails, Ishura will destroy the ground under him and send everyone back to the very beginning, significantly cutting your time. After this first skill break, you will typically be affected by an accuracy debuff and forced to face tank the shockwave AoE. So a holy symbol would be much appreciated here if you have a priest. Once done with the damage burst, the fight begins. Ishura hits hard, so if you see him staring in a relative cardinal direction, get the fuck out of sight. His moves include a single whip and a double whip that are opposite each other and may happen in sequence, the concentrated pin missile from earlier, the bubbles from earlier, 4 shadow missiles that you have to both face tank and stay away from your teammates at the risk of killing each other, which actually first appear in the penultimate platform, a shadow wall that is similar to Kandura's accuracy debuff in Beyond Link Triss, except Ishura's only does damage, a triple dash that progressively gets faster, a single or double dash that leaves a damage over time spot whenever he stops, 4 massive damage over time spots that coincidentally spawn next to the only Lapin shards in the area, and a heavy knockback AoE. The animation for the wall and the pin missile look similar, but one way to tell for sure is by the flow of his energy. When he preps the wall, Ishura's energy is more loose and he will thus fire it faster than the pin missile, which has more concentrated energy and takes a bit longer to fire. With all these attacks in mind, stay away from Ishura's sight as much as humanly possible and you just might live. At 20%, Ishura will perform his second skill break and emit a poison AoE across the entire platform. God damn, that son really loves her poison phases. At this point, it doesn't matter if you have the sunlight or moonlight debuffs, everyone has to get in the Lapin Charge zone to avoid taking even more damage, meaning that placement is really important at this point. I recommend placing one towards the top middle as that's where Ishura will remain until the end of the dungeon. If you have more Lapin Charge, place them on the sides to have better coverage and more room to dodge his now close range attacks. Stay strong and finish him off. There, you beat Terminus of Time. It's honestly not too bad once you get the hang of it and you have a coordinated group. Really, I find this one easier than Emerald Prison. Fuck that bitch in her damage. Do note, however, if you die with a metal tombstone, you have to run all the way back from the very beginning to the final area. And damage can be really tight sometimes if you don't have high enchants. As long as you know how to watch your feet and have good spatial awareness, I feel like anyone could do Terminus of Time. I've seen a group of +10s that could do it. Just proper coordination, that's it. But yeah, even with this guide, you will most likely get your ass handed to you the first few times. You just really need experience and time to really understand how to beat Terminus without much difficulty. When there's a will, there's a way. Thank you and goodbye.
Hey, what are you going to do about it? Phone the police? Mate, we are the police.